What's going on, guys? In today's video, I want to take you through some new Facebook ads testing strategies that I've been using. If you run a dropshipping store, you definitely want to watch this video because there's some big changes coming. If you don't prepare for these changes, if you don't get yourself ready, you are not going to be profitable with your dropshipping store anymore after the next few months. Now, what am I talking about, guys? This is a serious thing that people are actually talking about, but not really in the context that they should be talking about. And what I'm talking about is CBO, and this stands for Campaign Budget Optimization. Now, there's a lot of videos online right now about people talking about how to do this and strategies, but no one's really mentioned that in September, this will be mandatory. You won't be able to turn this function off. And what I'm seeing kind of people say is that CBO is only for products that are winning and stuff like that. But you're going to have to start testing with this because that's the only option you're going to have very soon in September when Facebook changes it to compulsory. You have to use it. You're going to have no choice. So first of all, I want to talk about what it actually is. Now, you can use this function right now. And if you're not using it, what you'll be doing is you'll be doing it without campaign budget optimization turned on. And what that means is you have better control and you can set what type of money you want to spend per ad set, right? So you might want to spend $10 across all 3 ad sets. With campaign budget optimization turned on, you basically give your campaign an allocated amount of money per day. And Facebook is going to go and basically optimize for you and spend the money on the best one that's getting you the most sales and stuff like that. And as you can see down here, this particular ad set spent $7. This one spent $18, and this one spent $5, and this one got the most conversions in this example right here. Now, there's a big problem, guys. A lot of people are talking about this, but they're not talking about how do you test with this function because this is going to be mandatory soon. You're going to have to start using this and you're going to have a lot less control in your actual ad sets. And all of your budget is going to be kind of done with the campaign. So let's jump into some stuff here, guys, and go through this and I'll kind of show you what I've been working on. Now, before we do that, we need to kind of go over some requirements because what CBO initially was for pixels that already had data collected and were cooked and pixels that were mature, and you have data to build lookalike audiences and stuff like that. That's what the CBO has been used for, by people. Products that already make you consistent sales and have been selling for a while. Basically, the CBO is for more experienced Facebook advertisers that want to scale. However, this has changed and it's going to change in September when they bring CBO in and it's compulsory and you have to use it. Because, you're going to need it to use it for everything. So now you'll have no choice but to use it. And this includes testing. And apparently it gets you the most results for your budget. Now, if you know anything about giving Facebook control of your ad sets and stuff, they usually don't do a good job. So I'm hoping this will work well for people with testing. It's been working well for me so far. I've found one good thing about this, guys. I've found it's a lot easier to scale using CBO. And we'll talk about that more in this video, but it is actually a lot easier to scale big numbers and faster. We're not going to be talking about CBO in effect of like, hey, you're going to use this to scale big and you've already got optimized products and stuff like that. We're more or less going to talk about this, guys, in a testing phase. Okay, because you're going to have to learn this. Otherwise, you might not be profitable in the future. So let's just kind of go over everything here, guys. We're not going to go through creating an actual ad because you should already know how to do that. It's very easy. I have videos on that on my channel. But when you go to create a campaign now, guys, you're going to have this campaign budget optimization, which you've probably seen over the last few months or 6 months. And you can turn this on or off. Okay, soon you won't have this function. It's just going to run like this and stay on consistently. Now, let's say, guys, that we so for this example of what I've been doing, I have one creative per ad set. So that means I have a campaign, ad set, and then one ad. So I'm not doing campaign, one ad set, then multiple ads or anything like that. And I never do more than 10 ad sets per campaign. One thing I've noticed with doing this campaign budget optimization is if you have any more than kind of like 8 or 10 campaigns, it runs really badly. The optimal level is kind of 5 to 8, 1 to 8. 10 is the most I would ever do. So just keep that in mind. Now let's pretend, guys, that we are selling a Bluetooth speaker, okay? And we're going to set our conversions here, our budget, per day to $100. That's going to allocate kind of like, I don't know, $20 per campaign if we were running evenly. Now, this is kind of how I've been doing my testing. So I've been starting these campaigns and basically going out there, and the first thing I test is the interest. So if I'm going to sell a Bluetooth speaker, I test fishing, hunting, camping, sailing, and that's supposed to be something else. I made a mistake, but let's just pretend that that's another thing. I don't know, running, right? So I test 5 different interests, and I do 1 interest per ad set. The reason you want to do that is because right now with Facebook, focusing on one big interest with lots of people in it is working extremely well with this method. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go out and let these run and let Facebook do the work, okay? And what Facebook's going to do is it's going to spend a little bit of money here, a little bit of money here, and these might start making sales, so it's going to start spending more money here, and it's going to basically optimize everything for you. So you're giving Facebook more control, and theoretically, they should be able to do a better job than us. It doesn't always work out that way. So once I have the campaign going, guys, and I've got my ad sets, but just remember that what I'm doing is I'm not changing anything here. The only thing I'm doing is I'm basically split testing interest. That's the first level that I'm doing with this, okay? Now, once I've kind of split test the interest, you're going to have a few things that are going to happen. You're going to kill some ad sets because they're not going to make you money. But what's most likely going to happen, guys, is you're going to have some ad sets that get 1 sale, 2 sales, 3 sales, and Facebook's going to be slowly spending more money on those ads, and you're going to have that you're going to kill. But for this example, we're going to basically say, hey, Facebook is running the red ones like garbage. We're going to cut them, and we have 1 ad set that's doing extremely well. Okay, so I know this is a little bit kind of deep, but I'm very thorough with what I do. So the first thing I want to kind of explain to you is in this training, Facebook is spending most of its money on this ad set for us, and that's where we're getting most of our consistent sales. But what I also want to mention, guys, is one thing that I look for that's really important is I'm going to kill an ad set after price plus 50%. So I use a method called the price plus 50. What that means is I basically, when I sell products, I sell high ticket stuff, $50, $60, $70. So for example, let's say we're selling this Bluetooth speaker for $40 and I spend $40 with no sale per ad set. So basically Facebook, let's say on this one has spent $40, no sale. What I do is I basically look at the stats. And so let's say I'm selling that Bluetooth speaker for $40 and there's an ad set that spent $40 and hasn't made me any sales. I look at the stats. If the stats look good, like we got low CPMs, link clicks are low and stuff like that, I let it run for another 50%. So in that case, I would let it run for another $20. If I spend $60 on a product that I'm selling for $40 and I get no sales, I kill it. I'm quite an aggressive person when it comes to killing products and testing. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Like, we all have different things we read, but my method of killing an ad set is to say, hey, I'm selling this for $40. I spent $60. I haven't made a sale. I'm going to kill it. All right. So in this tutorial, guys, we have 1 ad set that is making us good money. So what do I do? Well, with this particular method, guys, there is one way to scale up, and it's probably the easiest way for beginners, and that is to basically take that ad set, keep it going, pause the rest, and you can go into the campaign budget, and you can basically increase the budget by 50 to 100% every day or every second day. I don't go over 100%. For some reason, with this new method, it's quite easy to scale this way. Just go and increase the budget. If you remember, or even still now, when you do the ad sets and you have the daily on the ad sets, there's a lot of the times you'll scale up and your ad sets will die. In this case, it doesn't really happen from what I've seen. So to scale, method number 1 from your testing would be to basically increase the price. Okay. Now just remember guys, we're letting Facebook do most of the work here. This is once again the testing phase. So I've put out $100 per day and I've let Facebook do its job. Now guys, don't be scared when I say spend $100 a day. You're going to be cutting off ad sets anyway, so you're not just wasting money. You're going to be putting money. The money is going to be allocated to the best ad sets. Okay, so what do we do now, guys? If we want to duplicate, scale some more, there is a few methods. Method number 2 to scale is duplicate into a new campaign and test variations. So this is method number 2. I'm going to take this ad set, guys. I'm going to duplicate it into another ad set running $100 per day. And I'm going to take ad set number 2 that was winning for me, and I'm going to duplicate that into another ad set where I might change male, female, I might change the age, or I might even change the country. I'm going to start testing variations. In this method, I do it in a separate campaign, and even though these two are running to basically these two are exactly the same and there could be some auction overlap, just watch that and see what happens. If you start to see some auction overlap, pause this one in here, okay? But this method number 2, guys, I use a second campaign to duplicate ad sets and do more variation testing, okay? Method number 3 is probably more better to understand. Sorry guys, I just had to get a drink. Now, method number 3 is kind of a stage 2 to method number 2. Let's say that you have an ad set that's making you some money. Facebook's optimized it for this ad set and you've duplicated it into your campaign. Well, and you've duplicated another ad set. Well, you can actually duplicate the exact same ad set into another ad set that's exactly the same and start to test different variations of ad. Now, changing the ad copy can simply bring costs down, or it can increase costs, however your test goes. But if you have an ad set that's already winning, sometimes there's no point in duplicating and doing variations, and you can go out and instead do variations of your ad copy, do different videos, different images, different text to get your costs down and your purchase costs down to make more money. So that's scale method number 3. It's kind of a stage 2 to number 2 is duplicate into a new campaign and test ad copy. And we're not going to stay on this one for long, guys, because I do want to go into a more easier strategy that people would understand a little bit better. That might be more suitable for beginners. Now, this is scale method number 4, and it's duplicating ad sets inside the original campaign to find better winners by testing variations. Now, what that means, guys, and this is probably more familiar to you, is to take the campaign that's already running and don't duplicate that campaign, but duplicate ad sets inside that campaign. So you got ad set number 3, ad set number 4, and then do your different variations like different countries, different ages, different male or female. So that's probably the more easier one and better one to understand. Once you have a winning ad set inside a campaign, simply duplicate that ad set, because the goal, guys, is to get as many winning ad sets as you can and then scale that campaign. Okay, so if one ad set doesn't work properly or slows down in sales, you've got the other ones going. But kind of what the goal is to have, say, 5 ad sets making you sales. One might be making you 10 sales a day, one might be making you 3 sales a day. But as long as those ad sets are profitable, it doesn't matter. You're making money. So you want to get as many profitable ad sets running as you can. And that's why it's a good idea to do all of your testing variations at the beginning and then start to scale out after that. So scale method number 4 is simple. Duplicate ad sets inside the original campaign to find better winners by testing variations. That is a more simple way to do it instead of duplicating the actual entire campaign into a new one. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. And remember, this is just for one product. So you might be doing multiple products as well. Now, method number 5, guys, is pretty much the same thing as method number 3. You are going to duplicate the same ad sets, the winning ad set inside the campaign this time, and then once again, try different ad variations. Now, the reason I don't do multiple ads inside one ad set is because Facebook is horrible at finding what ad works. So what I do is I duplicate the ad set instead and allocate one ad to that ad set. So Facebook has to spend the money on that one ad. Okay, so that ad set or that campaign spends the money on the ad sets and then has to spend it on that one ad. If you had 3 or 4 ads in there, it would spend it on all those ads and try and find winners. But Facebook isn't very good at going out and finding winning ads. It's better at doing the job of finding winning ad sets. So the problem is, guys, there's all these ways to do CBO testing and stuff. Go back and watch this video and see and go through it again on the methods that I've explained. But what people don't explain is what I've just explained in this video. What they explain is how to do it with products that are already winning, pixels that are already cooked and seasoned and stuff like that. But this is becoming mandatory. In September, you're going to have to do this. You're not going to have a choice. You are going to have to start testing with CBO. So you want to start doing that now, guys, so you're prepared for when this change comes in. So you don't lose optimization on stuff, you don't lose money, and you keep making money from your stores. Now, if you want to learn how to make more money from your Shopify stores, guys, and your dropshipping stores, click the free playlist on this screen, guys, and we'll take you through a complete free course on how to start a dropshipping store and becoming profitable with dropshipping. And I'll also leave a video up on the screen, a dropshipping video showing you how to make money as well. And don't forget to subscribe, tap that notification bell, and drop a like on this video if it helped you understand Facebook advertising a bit more. And I'll see you in the next video.